What's up, guys? Ever since I put my last video up, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? Ever since I put my last video up, I've been getting a lot of subscribers, so I decided to do another one. This one's the updated engine, the N62. Let's start with the tools you're gonna need. Okay, first thing, remove the air intake assembly and this sound cover at the top here. Alright, that's what it should look like after. Next thing we're going to do is remove the wall partition. And first things first, remove the weather strip. And we're going to unclip these air filter ducts. 13mm quarter turn, both sides. And you got these sensors we're going to unclip. This fidgety doodad has got to come up and out on both sides. And we're going to slide this guy this way. And start getting this stuff out. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to remove all these 13mm quarter turns. And then right here is your Torx. We got one on both sides. And we're going to remove both of those as well. Alright, the partition's off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this cross member off. 4 Torxes. When removing the cross member, you're going to run into a little bracket here holding up this battery wire. Unclip it like that. Alright, starting at the top of the motor, 4 Torxes. Remove them all. Alright, take those 2 brackets off, and this is what it looks like. You got another bracket right here. Same size. Let's remove these 2 bolts and get this bracket out of the way. Okay, now we're trying to get these 2 harnesses out of the way to take this intake manifold up, and that means we're going to remove both of these covers, both sides. Just pull them up, they come out, they snap out, and then we're going to unclip these Valvetronic motors and the 3 sensors back here. You can only see one, but there's 2 cam sensors in there as well, both sides. Okay, let's unplug a couple more things. We're going to unplug the connector to the injectors, both sides. And then I want to start with unclipping these 3. And that would be just by squeezing and pulling out. You gotta squeeze where these lines are, both sides, and pull out. Be careful, this thing is brittle. Okay, on bank 2, I'm unplugging a bunch of these wires to help get this thing out of the way. I already did some of them. I'll show you. The throttle, unplug that. The looks like a coolant temp sensor. Unplug that. We're going to want to go down to the purge valve. Unplug that. And then I got 2 more lines going down to the Vano solenoids. Let's follow those and unplug those as well. Then we should be able to lift this thing up and get it out of the way. Expose the screws underneath. Okay, I'm going to unplug the thermostat. What is this, the wax pellet heater or something? And then we're going to get this out of the way as much as possible. So this is the orientation of the last plug you're going to unplug. just like that underneath there is how it fits under the engine. Good luck. First things, remove the Valvetronic motors both sides. I'm going to remove these 4 Allens, 4mm, and then I will just snake it out. I might have to turn it slowly as I pull it out. Alright, that's what it looks like. Valvetronic's removed. The motors, if you hear a snap as it comes out, that's probably just the cam that it controls snapping back. No big worries. That ground line is on both sides. Alright, before the manifold comes off, remove the fuel line. And we're going to unclip this clip. We're going to remove that, take that off. Watch me do this one-handed. And then we're going to push in. And then we're going to put, with my thumb, I'm going to push that tab. There you go. Push in, and the tab goes the opposite direction. And then you pull it off. Before I can take this thing up, I had to do a couple of things. Starting with this harness, I wanted to pull that up from the e-box partition. And then there's a cable, as you can see, middle of your screen, that was connected to a clip underneath it. I had to just pull that out from underneath the clip. I snapped the little wire here outside, and I got to remove the bottom of the hood struts from their original position, which is, yeah, right here. And both sides, was able to lift the hood higher and get that straight up angle so I could reach back in there easier. Oh, also very helpful to have small hands here. Yeah, if you have a friend nearby with small hands, grab him. Let's get to the 5 bolts underneath now, which are holding the intake manifold on. You can kind of see them there. 5 bolts each side. We're going to remove them all and start to get this intake manifold off. Alright, I removed all 10 bolts and the intake manifold is loose now. But before we go any further, I'm going to want to disconnect this line to the purge valve. And then I guess I already unclipped the battery here, the battery line, move that out of the way. And there's one more clip in the back I want to remove first, and that goes to the motor. You can kind of see it down there, but it goes to the motor on the back of the intake manifold, and it controls the intake lengths for the intake ports. We're going to want to disconnect that clip, and then we'll try and wrestle this whole thing out of here. Beautiful. Manifold's out. Just make sure that you don't have any dirt in these holes, and you're definitely going to want to plug them up. I'm going to plug them up right now. First things first, take the belt off. We got a giant Torx in here somewhere. Tightening is going to loosen the belt, and I'll remove it entirely. Okay, belt's off. Well, mostly. Remove those 4 bolts on the water pump pulley. Alright, I removed the water pump pulley, and now it's time to drain the coolant. So I'm going to lift the car up from the underneath. I'm going to take the bottom splash panel off, and I don't know if you can see this here, but the red dot in the middle of your screen is the bottom of the radiator. There you go. And that's the plug you're going to unscrew to drain the coolant out. So take the bottom splash panel off, a bunch of 8mm screws and stuff, and then drain the coolant through that screw. Okay, the coolant's draining. I know I got at least 4 hoses to disconnect, but I'm going to disconnect it from a thermostat here that's 3 10 millimeters, and then I'll get this hose underneath here. How are you going to see that? There's a hose underneath here, okay? I'm touching it. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3, and the 4th hose is right here. Let's see if you can see that one. You can see it a little bit. Focus! Alright, I have the hoses off of the water pump now, and all the coolant is drained. I'm taking the bolts off around the water pump, and there's 5 of them, and the bottom one is actually behind the crankshaft pulley. With a 16, I'm gonna take this belt tensioner, take the belt tensioner off, and that way I'll be able to access the bottom bolt on the water pump easier. That's coming out. Alright, the water pump is out, and that bottom bolt, that one's gonna stay in with you while you pull the water pump out. We're gonna replace this. I could take that off now, and the water pump comes with a new O-ring for this little guy. And last thing is, you're gonna want to put the switch, that looks like a coolant temp switch, from the old one to the new one. Let's move along here. I'm gonna unclip this entire harness from all the clips, get it out of the way. I'm probably just gonna tuck in these knock sensors. Yep, get them out of the way. All 4 that is, they're microphones. I don't want to unscrew them just because I don't want to. And then we'll take all these bolts off that hold the valley pan gasket thingamagogger in, and then we'll remove that. Alright, all 12 bolts are out, but if I don't want to keep messing with this thing, I'm going to want to remove this hose right here, and if you follow it on the other side, I don't want to move that hose clamp right there. Get those 2 out of the way, everything will come out easy. Alright, the valley pan's out. Now it's time to soak up all that green fluid in there. I'm just gonna put a wad of paper towels in there. Alright, it's time to cut. I'm gonna cut in from a really sharp angle, probably like so. You got to be careful here. You don't want to slice any of the edges. Alright, we can both agree cool looking safety glasses are not required. Alright, I'm going to finish cutting this by spinning it with a pair of big pliers, and then I'm going to clean all this out. Alright, this is the most crucial part of the job. You're putting the new pipe into the seal in front here. You want to look in here with a mirror, and you want to put make sure when you're fitting this pipe in with one hand, you want to make sure you got a pick up here, and you're guiding the rubber outwards with the pick while you insert the front of the pipe inside. So a little bit of a process there. It'll be some hassle, but you got to make sure that your pipe is essentially right up against the metal of this timing cover. Good luck.